Today's webinar is entitled Leveraging Technology to Support Early Literacy. Your presenter is Kelly Stade. Kelly is a senior librarian at Hennepin County Library, the largest public library system in Minnesota. In her library career, Kelly has worked to develop early literacy services, advocating for the role that libraries play in educating parents and preparing children to be ready to read. I'm now happy to introduce Kelly Stade.
Hi, my name is Kelly Stade, and I'm so excited to be here today. As mentioned, I'm a librarian in Minnesota, and seeing everyone log in here today and saying where they are from across the country, it's just great that we have a broad range of participants so we can get exciting perspectives from across the country. I hope that we can get to know each other from across the computer screen, so please give me your thoughts, ideas, and questions, and I hope we can be as interactive as possible, so I'll definitely be watching for your thoughts. We have a fun agenda planned for us today. It's a great time to be talking about early literacy technology because the topic is just exploding. The education world is taking a serious look at technology for young children and how learning experiences can be enhanced and how providers such as teachers and librarians can help. There's much to be learned, but libraries are in a great position to start experimenting, finding out what works best for you and your library. Today's objective is not to talk about what the best technology is or what is right for your library. Rather, I will be giving a broad overview of early literacy technology as it connects to libraries and how specific devices fit into this picture. You can then decide what your library needs. By the end of this presentation, we will specifically be learning the bullet points listed on the agenda here, which is how technology can be used to enhance early literacy learning, the library's role in early literacy technology, the availability and use of early literacy technology, and how to remain current. To dive right in, we are going to start with a background to help develop a framework. To get us thinking, please answer this question, and you're going to be answering by placing your answer in the chat box. The question is, what messages have you heard about technology for young children? There's no right or wrong answer, and there's a lot of conflicting messages about early literacy technology. And so by you providing some of your thoughts, we can see some of these broad-based perspectives. I see some great answers already. AAP is mentioned, which we will be talking about. Standalone computers, yep. So as you're mentioning here, and you can continue to mention, there are a lot of conflicting messages about early literacy technology, and you can bet that families with a broad spectrum of opinions will be using your library. So by having this knowledge base of both sides of the issue, we will be better prepared to be able to meet these families' needs. Technology for young children is a hot topic with heavy hitters on both sides of the issue. The first step in offering successful early literacy technology is knowing the history and the context of the debate, just as you have and still are providing interaction for. As you will see, there are strong opinions on both sides, both backing up their arguments with research, of course. The debate started as technology began to become more prevalent, followed by early research about its detriments to children. In 2000, the Alliance for Early Childhood, a research and advocacy group, called for an immediate moratorium on the further introduction of computers in early childhood. In 2004, the same group proclaimed that, quote, the damage being done by immersing children in electronic technology is becoming clear. Increasing numbers of them spend hours each day sitting in front of screens instead of playing outdoors, reading, and getting much needed exercise and face-to-face social interaction, all of which turns out to provide essential stimulation to the growing mind and intellect, end quote. These early messages gave a strong voice to the negative impact of technology for children. This viewpoint is still carried by organizations today. Likely the loudest voice is the American Academy of Pediatrics, and some of you mentioned this as in your comments. The American Academy of Pediatrics maintains firm in its stance discouraging media use for children younger than 2 and limiting its use for all young children. AAP defines media as television programs, pre-recorded videos, web-based programs, and DVDs. Organizations such as the Campaign for Commercial-Free Childhood and the White House Task Force on Childhood Obesity agree, stating that there's a lack of empirical research demonstrating the benefits of technology and that the commercial messages provide a negative influence. These are strong messages of opposition to technology for young children, but they're equally strong about its benefits. In January 2012, the National Association of the Education of Young Children, NAEYC, the nation's largest organization for early childhood educators, released an updated position statement on technology and young children, which had not been updated since 1996. This anxiously awaited document carries a lot of weight and will direct action for many early childhood organizations. This document, which makes recommendations for birth through age 8, states that it is the position statement of NAEYC and Fred Rogers that technology and interactive media are tools that can promote effective learning and development as they are used intentionally by early childhood educators within the framework of developmentally appropriate practice to support learning goals established by individual children. This position statement is a great document, and I will make references to it throughout the presentation today. And I also list it in one of the handouts giving reference to where you can find this. I would suggest that everyone read it. It provides a really great foundation to build a case for early literacy technology in your library. The position statement is revolutionary for a few reasons. First, the age indication that this position makes. It states birth to age 8. Although NAEYC suggests limiting technology for birth to 2, it acknowledges that appropriate technology experiences can be found for even the youngest of children. Previously, pretty much all organizations said technology was only appropriate for starting at age 2. Second, the position statement indicates that technology is a learning tool. We will go into this in further detail later, but this is highlighting that technology is not the teacher, but rather one means of teaching. So why is this important to know? New research comes out every day, often with conflicting messages. Parents and caretakers come to our libraries with having heard varying messages and carrying a variety of opinions about technology for young children. Libraries will be most successful in introducing early literacy technology if we understand the debate and make intentional decisions about what is best for our spaces. As more research comes out about the benefits of early literacy technology for young children, what is that research saying, and how can technology be used to promote early literacy skill development? First, it is important to note that there is an extremely broad range of technology available. In an ABC News report called Toddlers and Technology, Are All Screens Created Equal?, Children's Technology Review editor Warren Bucklinger says, quote, "What I find frustrating is when people lump all technology into one category called screens," end quote. A lot can fall under the word technology. Television, movies, video games, telephones, cameras, computers. With this broad range of technology that already exists, and with the reality that there is never an end to new technology, we need to find a way to gauge the value of technology individually. NAEYC has provided principles to be able to help us, to guide us to find appropriate use of technology to support optimal development. The principles highlight that beneficial interactions with technology must be hands-on, engaging, and empowering. They should allow children to be in control, and they should be playful. I'm going to say this one more time, since this is kind of a foundational piece of how we can select technology for our libraries. Technology must be hands-on, engaging, and empowering. They should allow the child to be in control, and they should be playful. This seems pretty straightforward to me. NAEYC goes on to indicate that passive screen viewing has not been associated with specific learning development in infants and toddlers. We can use these principles to evaluate the value of technology for our young children in our libraries. I think the most important word in the NAEYC principle regarding technology is interaction. Research tells us that there is a difference between participation and interaction. Participation is one way. A DVD asks the child to make an animal sound, for example. If the child responds, they've participated, but regardless, the DVD goes on in the same way. Interaction is one step further, giving an individual influence over the effect. For example, if a child is playing a computer game that asks the child to match animal sounds, it allows the child to hear the animal sounds and then make a choice about what the correct animal is. This provides active choice and control. Of course, every computer game does not reach the interaction level. There are plenty of passive computer viewing related experiences, but technology has the ability to create interactive experiences. And as we will talk about later, this is where the role of the librarian comes in, helping caregivers find the best programs that meet the needs of children. So, when technology reaches that interactive level, what are the benefits? There are a few basic benefits. Games can teach cause and effect, following instructions and vocabulary. E-books can teach narrative skills through actively engaging children in the story. Coloring with a stylus can help a child learn to hold a pen. Using a mouse can help a child develop hand-eye coordination. And operational skills are developed when learning to navigate the screen, turn a device on and off, and adjusting the volume. Those are skills specifically called digital literacy skills. As an added benefit to learning through technology, research has found that there is a link between learning success and motivation. We would, in the early literacy world, compare this to print motivation. Children have been found to have increased motivation when learning through playful technology experiences. To provide us with further information on the research stats about early literacy, I have a few research facts for us here. Researcher Lydia Plowman, in Supporting Young Children's Learning with Technology at Home and in Preschool, found interactive technologies increase self-esteem through success and winning, supported independent behavior, and increased persistence when facing difficulties. Researcher Leslie Kaus, in A Tablet Computer for Young Children, states, children who use computers have been found to show great gains in intelligence, structural knowledge, problem solving, and language skills compared to those not using technology in learning. She also states, children who use computers have been found to show greater gains in intelligence, structural knowledge, problem solving, and language skills compared to those who do not use technology in learning. As research builds, the picture of technology becomes clear. But one point that NAEYC is already clear about is that technology is the tool and not the teacher. Technology should not be used just for the sake of technology. When used correctly, learning can be enhanced with technology, but technology is the supplemental tool. As with all learning experiences, it should be used as one of many learning methods. Children still need to play outside, read books, color on paper, etc. All are beneficial experiences, and all can be used together to build a solid learning foundation. To get us thinking about passive viewing versus interactive experiences, we have a poll here. The question is, how many of the following experiences are likely to occur when a child watches a DVD about colors? And so there's no correct answer here. It's not right or wrong. You're going to answer the question first about the DVD. We will then open a new poll, and you'll be able to answer it again. So please select as many as you think applies of how many of the following experiences are likely to occur when a child watches a DVD about colors. And as we collect the answers here, again, there's no right or wrong answer. And we are going to be kind of looking at the difference between interaction versus participation. So answers are still coming in. And let's show the results to everyone. I'm going to close the poll. And we can, so it looks like it's tabulating your responses. And as we'll see as we open this poll again, there's no right or wrong answer. Supporters of educational DVDs, I'm sure, would conclude that a DVD is able to achieve all of the bullets listed above. Here we go. You should now see the poll results. But in general, and we're going to answer the same question again. So here, looking at the response, definitely low levels of response of the options of the DVD. So now let's answer the same question again. And so now you're going to be answering how many of the following experiences are likely to occur when a child plays a painting game on a computer. And so again, we're looking at the difference between interaction and participation. That, wow, we have huge results. People are definitely responding that many of these, if not all of them, are meeting the level of interaction, that a child is able to follow instructions, a child is able to engage in open-ended play through the painting game on a computer, where we had very low results on the DVD about colors. And so this is just, I'm going to close the poll, and again, I'm tracking your results. But as you have just answered here, you have showed us that not all technology is created equal, that computers can provide a more open-ended, in-control experience for children. And it's almost done here, and then I'll show the poll results for everyone to see. So you and your colleagues are definitely agreeing that DVDs aren't quite the same experience as a computer game, that children are able to reach further levels of interaction when playing on a computer. Thank you. So technology has the potential to provide a learning experience for children, as you just demonstrated. But we also know that it is a tool, not a teacher. This is where we start to see the role of the library by helping set the stage for successful technology experiences. Jeremy Bruack of a popular blog about technology for young children called Raise Digital says, quote, "I pity the fool who thinks it's about the devices," end quote. Just as we talk about in story time and encourage in early literacy environments, children maximize learning experiences when playing with a parent or caretaker. Bruack explains that the most valuable part of the learning experience is the conversation before, during, and after the technology interaction. NAEYC agrees, stating effective technology tools connect on-screen and off-screen activities and bring adults and children together rather than push them apart. Adults can help young children navigate hardware, encourage conversation, and promote vocabulary learning. Do you have children or grandchildren? How have you shared technology experiences with them? You can put your answers, if you have information to share, in the chat box and share them with your colleagues. We all have various experiences working with children in our own lives and sharing technology with them. And as we look at our colleagues' responses here or think about experiences in our own life, we can begin to apply what we know in our own life to experiences in our buildings or on our websites. So as we read our colleagues' responses here, please, sharing Angry Birds, that's awesome, fun experience, and definitely that cause and effect. 2-year-old loves iPad apps, great. So please keep reading those responses, keep typing them in. Teens and technology, that's awesome. So please keep them coming, and as we read those, we can start thinking about how we can apply these to libraries. To start, our role in a library is to encourage caretakers to engage with their children instead of using technology as a babysitter. We can use our environment to share tips for caretakers on using technology as a tool. Just as we create recommended book lists, we can share recommended lists of websites and apps appropriate for young children. We need to push ourselves to be comfortable with technology and know how it can be used with young children. The library can also help by connecting children to age-appropriate technology. According to researcher Lydia Plowman, and as we would assume, children tend to walk away from technology interactions that are either too easy or too difficult. A Children in Libraries article titled Age-Appropriate Technology Programming for Kids helps us determine appropriateness. It recommends technology experiences for birth to 2 should facilitate and direct interactive play between child and caretaker. This could be an e-book that a child and caretaker read together, or playing an interactive app, such as Angry Birds, listed by one of our colleagues. Technology experiences for 3 to 7-year-olds should encourage collaborative play, creation, conversation, problem solving, and mastery learning. This could be a digital finger painting game, problem solving, digital storytelling, among other experiences. The library has a role in facilitating caretakers and finding technology experiences that meet the needs of their child. We could call this technology advisory. Just as we do reader's advisory, we can also do technology advisory for helping caretakers find appropriate technology experiences. One of the handouts that is made available for you today for this presentation is the Association of Library Services to Young Children's Statement of Commitment to Excellence in Library Service to Children in a Technological Age. Although this statement was drafted in 2000, it still provides a great scope of how libraries can help provide a successful foundation for technology experiences for young children. Moving on here. As ALSC recommends, libraries can help caretakers navigate technology and make recommendations. Therefore, it is important to have a general understanding of what technology is available and the benefits to specific devices. We are going to touch on the following devices listed here. And in looking at these devices, you will notice that we're often comparing apples to oranges, and at the same time, there's overlap. We are looking at each not to determine which is better than the other. Many libraries have multiple forms of early literacy technology in their buildings. We will touch on the highlights of the devices, and you can decide what is best for you. Before we look at the specific technologies, to help us understand how technology connects with play, please think about the way children play and answer. In what ways do children play? Again, you're going to be typing in your response in the chat box. There's no right or wrong answer here. Some examples are children play with their whole bodies, children model behavior, children color, children play structured games, they play with others. Everyone should be able to come up with at least one answer. Think about the ways that children play, and we will be referring to these later, but type them in the chat box and remember your response. Lots of responses coming in here. Children make noise, that's for sure. Children move, children dance, that's great. So we will be, remember your response, read the responses coming up here, coming in very fast. Physically active, play to learn, awesome. So keep them coming, and remember your response. We'll be coming back to it. So moving to the devices themselves, so we're first going to look at tablet computers and portable devices, or touchscreen devices. These are devices such as iPads, tablet computers, and smartphones, among others. In starting to talk about these devices, we are reminded first the importance is not the device, but the application. Any device can provide passive viewing experiences that are not beneficial for children. We are looking at applications that are the most beneficial. Beyond the application, it is, of course, the interaction that takes place with the adult and child around the application. With this in mind, there are aspects of the device that can contribute to a child appropriateness. So looking at the device themselves, touchscreens allow for easy use. There's no mouse or keyboard that children have to learn. Touchscreens meet the fine motor skill development of young children. The creator of GeekDad at Wired.com has pointed out that the point and touch, the pincer grip, and the swipe that are needed to use touchscreen devices are all fundamental hand motions that the youngest of children can master. These devices are portable, so you can have them anywhere. They're ready to play when you need them. The size of smartphones or iPhones fit perfectly in the hands of young children. They also have cameras, so it can become documentation tools. Research has also found that smartphones are actually starting to break the digital divide because of the affordability of these. So that's obviously a huge benefit. An anecdotal benefit to these devices. Young children love to push buttons and see a reaction. Adults love to push buttons and see a reaction. And this is the quintessential version of this. You push a button and something happens, and that's really cool. Application possibilities, so these are the apps. Possibilities are endless on what these devices can do. App availability, there's a wide range of activities allowing children to draw, to read, to put together puzzles, to stack blocks, to play games, and more. The larger picture on this screen is of a Fisher-Price device that literally puts the iPhone into a baby rattle and can be used for the youngest of children. We also see a picture here of the smaller picture is a Disney Playmat app. And this puts children literally in control by giving them a car and driving on the iPad. It then follows the child's motion, puts the child in control. These devices have a large appeal for children, so they want to play and therefore learn. Some of the devices come with styluses, and so that mimics holding a pen. How do you rate? When choosing an app that's right for you, we can look back to the NAEYC indicator of hands-on, engaging, and empowering. And the Tots to Tweens article of Birth to Two technology should be used to facilitate direct interaction and play, encourage collaborative play, creation, conversation, problem solving, and mastery learning. So we can use those as our basis to judge apps. Finding apps that fit these categories can be overwhelming. Thankfully, there are wonderful resources out there to help us find the best educational apps. And a second handout that has been made available to you is one that provides sources to find recommendations for apps, such as momswithapps.com. These apps are ever expanding, so it's beneficial to know where you can go to get recommendations. Went too far. This is a video that we're not actually going to watch today, but if you're interested in having iPads at your library, this is an awesome video to watch. This is a story of children in a classroom, a preschool classroom that used the iPad to recreate the story The Dot, and then which is a print book. And then using the iPad in a way that you can only use a socially networked device is they shared this experience across the country and then invited children to participate back. So this could be a program that could easily be mimicked at a library. Like I said, we don't have time to watch the video today, but if you're interested in having iPads at your library, this might be something you want to refer back to. The next piece that we're going to talk about are early literacy computer stations. And these are preloaded computers that can be purchased from companies such as AWE. They can be touchscreen or traditional keyboard mouse operated. The benefits to these devices is that they're little work for library staff. They're literally just set up and go. They have pre-selected computer games that are selected for their literacy skill development. There's high appeal. Likely children don't have these at home, so it's something that would be unique to your library. And most of these, they don't have internet access, which some libraries prefer that they're directing children just to these appropriate games rather than the whole internet world. And I'm sure many of your libraries might already have these. If you do, you're welcome to share your experiences in the chat box. How to rate? You'll definitely want to think about the cost, the flexibility that these would allow. Do they have the up-to-date programs that you want? And the space, of course. Linked on here is a video of a demonstration of AWE computers. Again, we're not going to be watching it here together today, but if you're interested in purchasing AWE computers or other computers for your library, this is a great video that you could come back and watch on your own time. Websites. Websites are just as we currently know and use. They are whatever is available on the web. Benefits to this is they're free. There's endless variety. There's always something new. Because there are so many, there's a website out there that can meet just about any literacy skill need. Other benefits to computers, the computer itself, is that they teach hardware navigation skills essential to digital literacy learning. such as using a mouse, turning on a computer, or using a keyboard. In addition to millions of games, a few things that are available online that are beneficial to young children are visual dictionaries, photo sharing experiences, Skype. All of these can be very literacy-rich experiences. The cons to websites, they can appear free, but then ask for a membership or charge a small fee. So they also can, and there's so many websites out there that there are just as many good as bad ones. How to rate. Good websites for young children are designed to enhance pre-reading skills. A study called The Language of Webkinz gives us tips on what to look for in websites. They say the play should connect to pre-reading skills. So for example, the site may have symbols as well as words, so a stop sign that includes the word stop, allowing children to understand the meaning of the word without having to read the word itself. At the same time, it connects the word to the symbol, building literacy. Good websites also integrate text in creative manners, such as talking bubbles, which motivate children to learn to read. Often video games have audio and visual text, and it has been found that the coupling of audio and visual information can increase comprehension for early readers. I have listed here a few examples of fun websites. The picture on the screen here is I have built myself wild. That is what I would look like if I was a really cool, amazing creature. Another one on here I really like is the S'mories. This takes different letters, so the letters of the alphabet, and puts a story to each of the animals, or each of the letters, which is pretty cute. Ebooks. Ebooks obviously cross many categories. They can be viewed on portable devices, used on specific readers, or viewed on traditional computers. Similar to the above categories, we need to judge the quality of the specific ebook, not the device itself. So benefits. The general benefit to ebooks, there are endless books at a child's fingertips. Portability, if you have a device that's portable, which is handy. There's interactive possibilities to many ebooks beyond traditional print books. There's high interest, and you have 24/7 access. There's always more books available. How to rate? There are a wide range of types of ebooks, from PDFs to high-tech books that resemble games. School Library Journal, in an article called Are eBooks Any Good?, gives us a good rule of thumb on judging ebooks. They say that anything with 75% or more animation ceases to be a book. So we want to find books that provide a good balance between part interaction, part text. Some books provide fun quiz reviews, moving text bubbles, mouse clicking to turn pages, or make characters move. Getting children involved in a story will help children remember it later. So each of the interactive elements help children develop narrative skills and comprehension. Ebooks can be nicely paired with print books. It's fun to read a print version of a book and compare it to the interactive ebook. This could even be done in story time. An interesting piece about ebooks has been found by researcher Lisa Gersney, author of a study about parent-child interaction around ebooks. And she found that parents are often too directive when reading ebooks with the children instead of using dialogic reading skills such as asking questions, pointing out details, and letting children tell the story. So here again is where libraries can help out by teaching parents some of the positive ways to use an ebook to enhance learning. The screenshots on the page are some of the common ebook programs that are used in libraries. So other devices, there are many other forms of technology, and many more will continue to be released. A few prominent technologies used by young children: digital cameras. In the hands of a child, a digital camera becomes a documentation tool. Children can take pictures of their world, upload those pictures, and create a storybook of their own life. Whiteboards are another early literacy tool, can be an early literacy technology tool, often used in classrooms, but can be used in libraries as well. Again, we have a video here that we're not going to watch together, but this is an example of a preschool in Minnesota where the children in a storytime circle use the whiteboard to use their whole bodies to be able to act out the Itsy Bitsy Spider song. So now we're kind of referring back to that question that we asked of how children play, and everyone had a slew of responses. So now we're going to somewhat answer that question again of what types of play can occur when using technology. So think about what you answered first and find out think to yourself of what you answered if it could be applied to technology. So one thing I said was technology, or children play with their whole bodies. Well, this whiteboard example of children using their whole bodies to move the spider and playing Itsy Bitsy Spider, that is children playing with their whole bodies using technology. So can your answer be answered with this question? What types of play can be used with technology? Please put your answer in the chat box, and we'll keep moving along here, but we're reading the responses as we go. Oh, moving on. Oops, I went too far. There are many forms of technology that will continue to be released. And in thinking about this, we also want to compare this to Talk, Sing, Read, Write, Play, or Every Child Ready to Read at your library. This isn't a presentation about ECR R2. The library system I work at is very excited about Every Child Ready to Read 2 and its role in empowering parents as the child's first teacher. Since this is such an important component to early literacy in libraries, I wanted to very briefly touch on how the 5 practices connect to technology. ECR R2 has identified 5 practices that promote early literacy skill development. These are Talk, Sing, Read, Write, Play. Each powerful natural occurrences to childhood. In the previous slide, we demonstrated how children's play can easily be translated into playful technology experiences, and it looks like people are still putting responses up there, which is awesome. And so interactive technology can promote each of the 5 practices when a child and adult play together. There are countless apps, websites, ebooks that connect to the 5 practices. So for example, one listed here, Baby Karaoke, is a website that provides sing-along experience for children. This would promote singing. Ebooks are a way to promote reading, drawing and other art programs promote writing, interactive digital puzzles promote play, and all of the experiences should be done with a caretaker talking about the experience before, during, and after. So these are just a few examples of how early literacy technology connects with Talk, Sing, Read, Write, Play. What other connections do you see between ECR R2 and early literacy technology? If you have ideas, please put them in the chat box. We're going to keep moving here. So what does this mean for your library? I hope that you've already begun to make connections. We have already talked about the library's role in technology advisory, like Reader's Advisory, but there are other applications for libraries as well. NAEYC proclaims that early childhood programs have an obligation to use technology to bridge the digital divide. I would add libraries to this proclamation as well. Libraries are in a unique position to introduce young children to technologies that they might not have otherwise had access to. So here we're going to be talking about 3 ways that libraries can integrate early literacy technology experiences through environments, programming, and circulation. First, looking at environments, early literacy environments are a fast-growing feature to libraries. These are spaces that encourage early literacy learning through playful experiences. Early literacy technology can be perfectly paired with early literacy environments. By adding age-appropriate technology to early literacy environments, we can use our space to provide opportunities for children to engage with technology, providing key digital literacy experiences. We can also use our space as an opportunity to educate parents about the benefits of technology and their role in enhancing literacy learning. We can do this through posted early literacy tips and signage to promote caregivers and children to use technology together. In creating a literacy-rich environment, we need to look at the nonverbals our space is saying. If we are asking caregivers to sit with their child when playing with a computer or iPad, we need, of course, 2 chairs. If we have a computer with only one kid-sized chair, we are in a nonverbal way telling parents to leave their child at a computer station alone. We also have the opportunity to encourage early literacy learning through programs. Houston Public Library has a program that introduces children 12 months and up to iPads. In the program, the children have the opportunity to play with pre-selected apps and highlight early literacy learning interaction. The DOT program, which I mentioned earlier, is another perfect program that could happen in a library, giving children hands-on experiences with the technology. Story times, something libraries are already experts at, can incorporate ebooks such as One More Story. A book projected on a large screen grabs the audience and increases print motivation. Try an ebook that asks children to move along to the story. A librarian Storytime blogger, her blog is called Storytiming, uses the iPhone app to make animal sounds in Storytime. So there's all sorts of creative ways that we can use technology to bolster early literacy experiences. Madeline Walton Hadcock, in a journal article called Within Children and Libraries, reminds us that technology programming for children doesn't have to just be for kids. It can involve anything from educating parents about the benefits and pitfalls of modern technology to entertaining and educating whole families while helping them establish meaningful connections to technology. We can also incorporate technology in our libraries through circulation. And this will also help break that digital divide, as we talked about earlier. The ALSC blog has an excellent article posted about circulating iPads, which is referenced in the bibliography, which you have available through this presentation. The article does a much better job than I ever could explaining the ins and outs of this exciting endeavor. As described in the blog, circulating iPads or other tablet computers or ebook readers provide an excellent opportunity for libraries to promote early literacy through kits. We can pair the device with information for caregivers about sharing technology experiences with children, tips on finding good websites or apps, and the benefits of early literacy technology experiences. The article also provides logistical tips such as the importance of wiping stored information after each checkout and dealing with damage or loss. My only recommendation is in creating such a program at your library is to ensure that you have a budget to allow you to sustain the program and not just get it started. Library websites can also be used to promote early literacy technology, and it is available 24/7 and in the homes of your patrons. You can promote free educational websites to parents and mention why you recommend them. So, another question here. What other ideas do you have or is your library currently using to promote early literacy technology? So we have a poll for this. So if your library is participating in any of, or is using any of these features, please select them in the poll. If you have other ideas, you're also welcome to share them in the chat box. And so for the poll, it looks like we have a few responses here. Your library is recommending websites, ebooks available, or ebooks and Storytime. That's awesome to hear. Lots of people recommending websites. Devices in the, many libraries have devices in the library. That's great to see here too. I will shut down the poll in just another second. It looks like people are slowing down here. And I will show this to everyone. So I'm going to close the poll. And it's tabulating. It looks like a lot of people were responding that you have devices in your library and are recommending websites to families. That's awesome to hear. And I will show everyone the results. So you should be able to see them now, and we can come back to those as well. So what schools across the country are incorporating technology in classrooms. We need to ensure young children are prepared for the digital literacy learning necessary in schools. Technology changes in a blink of an eye. Incorporating technology in your library is a commitment, and it requires your effort to remain current. Devices change, websites improve, And by libraries staying on top of the early literacy technology trends, we are better prepared to help parents navigate the complex availabilities and prepare children for the technology experiences they will need in schools. To help us do this, first, we can rely on our local partners. Ask your local Head Start or ECFE how they incorporate early literacy technology into their classrooms. As savvy librarians, we need to look at what early childhood educators and museums are doing and apply the information to library settings. There are also countless resources online. Here are a few of my favorite resources that I use to be able to remain current on early literacy technology. Do you have other favorites? If you have other favorites, resources that you use to learn about early literacy technology, please share them with us in the chat box. And I'm sure there's, of course, always changing information. Before we end today, I have one last video, and we are going to watch this one together. And this is to get us all thinking about the future of libraries. So as children grow up with technology central to their lives, what will they expect from a library? And we can think about this while we watch this young little girl. And so we're ready to watch the video here. It should be pulling up in just 1 second. And in the meantime, as it starts, looks like people have listed getreadytoread.org as one of the resources. And here we go. I just love that in this video, this young little girl is already demonstrating that point, the pincer grip, and the swipe. She already gets it and is, I mean, how old? Very, very young. So if this girl is our future library user, if she walks into your library 5 years from now, what is she going to expect? So that is just a way to kind of get us thinking about what is the future of early literacy technology in libraries and what can we do to be able to meet these needs. So thank you for listening today. Please, what are your questions? If you have questions, you're able to type them in the chat box. And looks like a lot of people really enjoyed the video here. Definitely demonstrates learning. And a few other people listed technology resources. Someone listed childrenstech.com. That's great, which provides children's technology reviews. And definitely as the fellow participants are listing is that we really need to be integrated into this technology network. No one has all of the information on their own, so by going out to these other resources, you're able to delve into what the latest research is. I'm not seeing any questions.
There was a question about what age is baby karaoke recommended?
Baby karaoke can definitely use with parent and children together, but it can be used with very young children. I would say it's starting at toddlers, especially if the child is too young to read themselves. If they're pre-literate, it would be a great experience for the parent to read the words, but to get the child to sing along with them. So, I mean, even the youngest of children, singing is a very positive experience. So I would definitely up to the parents themselves, but even the very youngest of children could enjoy that website. And it is called Baby Karaoke, so definitely very young.
Here's another one. How do the libraries that have iPads connected to end panels manage? Is there a lot of damage?
That would be a really great question for our participants. Does anyone have iPads tethered to pieces in your library, and have you had much damage? I personally have heard that the tethering works well. There is damage to iPads, which is why it's important that if you do have such an endeavor that you include a budget for replacements, not just for the piece itself, but there are portable tools that allows the iPad to be protected. And we can see if anyone else has listed an experience that they have with tethering iPads and using it in the building. I'm not seeing any direct responses.
Well, we're getting some feedback there. Here's one. How do the libraries, oh no, sorry, that was a different one. Wait a minute, where is that? Right. How do we best promote tech as a tool in our schools and libraries?
So I would refer back to how we talked about using our building itself. So if you have technology in your library, using it as an opportunity to start that conversation with caregivers about how it can be used in a beneficial manner. Pairing adult and child chairs, so we're indicating that this is an experience that's to be shared together. We can also use our websites to be able to talk about early literacy technology by having our whole libraries. And then I would put that call out that it's not just the responsibility of the youth services librarian, but all staff in the library recognizing the importance of early literacy technology and having the ability to talk about why this is important, what the benefits are at a basic level, and how it's fundamental to what we do at libraries.
Here's another one. Doesn't the video show the child doesn't know how to turn the pages in a magazine? She knows how to use an iPad but doesn't understand how a book works. That's an important pre-reader skill to learn.
Definitely, I definitely agree. And as mentioned earlier, I don't think that learning through technology should replace any type of literacy learning. So books should still and always be a fundamental aspect to learning with children, but technology is just one other way that we can add to enhance learning experiences. Thank you for that comment.
And, here's one. Doesn't AAP still discourage screen time for children ages 2 and under?
Yes, they do. Yep. So AAP and the White House still do stand that technology is not appropriate for children under the age of 2. So that's part of that debate, that there are strong advocates on both sides of the debate. And so we as libraries need to understand both of these sides. We're not choosing what's right for families. We're just understanding what the debate is and making technology available for families to choose to use it.
As a side note, there have been some comments. There's been a lot of text chat in this webinar, and yes, we will be archiving the text chat for you to refer to it after. Here's an interesting comment. Oops, it keeps going away. They're basically saying that this person's already having back problems, and they're concerned about the physical problems developing bodies may have as a result of tech posture.
Wow, that's very interesting. We need to give children mini yoga balls to sit on while they use the computer.
We have that question. I'm sorry, we missed the Penny Peck question. Penny, if you could repost, or if that person could repost her question, this text chat goes back a ways. I'm looking for the question right now.
Well, here's one comment of touchscreen technology seems to almost be intuitive for young children, not like us who have to learn how to use them. It is amazing how children are able to just pick something up and figure it out.
Here's Penny's question. If kids and parents rely only on ebooks, will kids gain the eye tracking and other skills needed for reading?
I would definitely, going back, that I don't think that ebooks should replace print books, that they both can be used to be able to encourage early literacy learning, so that there are benefits specifically to print books that would come, the print skills themselves that we needed children to learn, how to hold a book, what the front cover is. Those are definitely essential to learning. But there is a lot of research coming out that is saying that children can follow words on a page even though the page is actually on a screen, that there is learning that comes from ebooks as well. And then those narrative skills benefits of if the child is directly involved in the story because they're pressing on the cow and making the cow say moo, they're engaged in the story at a level that increases comprehension. Thank you. Here was one comment of library budgets are a great concern, and that I would definitely agree with that. It's definitely a challenge of in trying budget times to be able to add on another program.
Yeah, so the debate will obviously continue to rage. Are there any resources, where did that go? Any resources that are ebooks on the internet like Tumblebooks that can be used on the iPad?
There are ebook apps that are available, and I would recommend in one of the handouts there is a list of how you can find recommended apps, and I would look through those, and they can provide app recommendations that are directly connected to ebooks. There's lots of them available and a lot of really great ones. And when we look at ebooks themselves, if you don't have a recommendation, you'll want to fall back to the School Library Journal's recommendation of that if it has more than 75% animation, it's really no longer a book, it's a game. And not that games are bad, but it's not the benefits of the book itself.
And here is some Tumblebooks won't work, or some Tumblebooks will work on the iPad. So.
Great comment, thank you.
And Penny Peck has a comment. I also think ebooks with narration can help so many English language learners like we have in California.
Very important, yes.
Well, we're coming up at the top of the hour, and I think we have, here's one last question. Is the primary goal to foster an interest in reading or teach tech skills?
I would say both are important. As librarians, it is fundamental to us to be able to encourage that print motivation and get children to want to read and find reading enjoyable. There are other benefits to technology experiences, so it doesn't have to be an either-or. Learning technology experiences are important in preparing children for school, so they can go hand in hand.
And now we are at the top of the hour, so I'd like to thank Kelly and thank all of you for attending. This is obviously a very hot topic, and be sure to download her handout. We put the link in the text chat, and the archived webinar will also be available there. So thank you again, Kelly, and thanks everyone for attending.